We are on the air.
And welcome to the Ramblecast. I don't know what music this is. I'm just making it up as I go. Ramblecast. Ramblecast.
Live from Raleigh, North Carolina. It's Jay and Jack's Ramblecast.
That's pretty good. Podcast about farts and covering up farts and just letting farts go.
We are fart. We're not fart free. We fart freely on this podcast.
Oh yeah. I don't know why I'm even brought up into this.
Matter of fact,
this whole fart game because
farted.
I'm not. I would own up to it.
Somebody's mic's fluttering. It sounds like.
Is it me?
I think it is Chris.
Chris, it's your farting. It's fluttering.
Sorry,
You're
fluttering.
fart. Well, Chris had a rough time. He had to get his child to bed, right?
He's got an excited colon. You know.
Yeah, it's the summer vacation, which means there's a lot less incentive.
So there's no there's no set time.
I can't hold over her head the hey, I get up early, go to school tomorrow. I tried that the other day. She's like, no, I don't. It's summer. I'm like,
how old is she now?
Did she say it like a valley girl?
No, maybe a little bit.
How old is she now?
She's 6 now.
So she just finished first grade?
Kindergarten. Yeah, she's going to the first. She was reading earlier. She said, I'm preparing for first grade.
Nice.
Nice. Excellent.
That's great. Good. Get a scholarship so I don't pay for college.
And then you should first days drop in the complete writings of Shakespeare.
Yeah, exactly. She's crushing some Seuss right now. I'll tell you that much.
One fish, two fish.
I'm actually kind of blown away though. I mean, I remember at beginning of the school year, they had the parents go in for the the parents' orientation of the kids going into public schools for the first year, and part of the survey is what are your goals for your kid? What do you want the most out of your kid's kindergarten first year? And I was just at first, I started feeling, I just wanted to have fun. It's kindergarten, but then I started thinking about, how cool would it be if she actually had some, pull some tangible skills out of that first year. And so I wrote down, I hope she could read herself.
I hope she's great at finger painting.
And the girl crushes books. It's actually pretty impressive. It looks like on my end, I'm getting some feedback on my mic, so I may disconnect for a half a second, but just go around the horn.
All right, sounds good.
So, I don't know where.
So Matt, you were on vacation.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of Chris.
You were at the Golden. I saw you at the Golden Gate Bridge, and you guys were wearing parkas.
Golden Shower Bridge.
Just some coats. So.
Yeah. You actually got to experience the fog too, which is interesting. I mean, the 3 times I've been to San Francisco, it's always been a clear day. I'm I thought it was
on a clear day.
Well, we were there for a week, so
okay.
a good amount of time, long enough to get time zone adjusted, and kept it somewhat low key and hung out with friends and family for part of it, and didn't do a lot of really big touristy things. My sister went into Fisherman's Wharf. And she had wanted to see the pier down there. Mainly Ghirardelli chocolates. She wanted to do that.
It's a big one down there, yeah, too.
And she didn't get a chance to ride the trolley car.
Man!
But she did do a huge walk around San Fran. We did not, because we did that kind of last time. And
did you do the Crooked Street?
No, I mean we really kind of ate places. We ate.
Wait. Well, hold on a second.
We ate at places.
You went all the way to San Francisco and didn't do the Crooked Street.
It's kind of out of the way.
Well, we were more in Berkeley, really. We landed in Oakland, and we were in the Bay Area for a good portion of it. And only a few times did we actually venture into San Francisco. So, but we enjoyed Baker Beach. It cleared up for us there, which was nice. And
you go to Alcatraz? Did you?
No, but we got to
tell your kids, act up. This is where you're going.
Got to see a sea lion just kind of swimming along the coast there, so that was pretty cool.
You don't see those in Indiana?
No, not often.
They're in Ohio though.
They were first. They originated in Ohio.
One of these days, I'm going to be right.
Yeah, I remember like if you've never been to San Francisco, you underestimate the hills though. I remember when I went in 2014, last time I went, Kolke was still living in San Francisco at the time. And he was, I think, only 1.2 miles away from me. And I was like, oh, that's nothing. I'll walk over to where you're living. And it was just straight up hill, down, hill, down. And by the time I was covered in sweat. I was like, F this town.
I'm not a big fan of San Francisco, and I take some heat for that just because of the traffic. And it's so windy and cold.
It is the weather. It can be very fickle where it's very windy. It can be very sunny 1 minute. It was funny. We'd stand in the sun and you'd be like, "Wow, I'm actually kind of warm." And then you step in the shade, you're like, "I'm." Cold.
Maybe if I came from Indiana or Ohio, I think San Francisco is pretty cool. But I came from San Diego. I'm like, this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, San Diego's better than San Francisco. It just is.
This is some California BS right now. But anyway,
that's why I'm glad we're splitting up. Let's just
into 3 states.
Exactly. Just split up.
I mean, to be fair though, I think San Diego is an anomaly in the sense that it has the best weather pretty much anywhere in the world.
It does. Well, that's why, like, say, we have videos of the kids when they were young. I think, well, actually, my youngest daughter wasn't even born yet, but Jay is like 4 or 5, and my youngest, and it's just we're sitting there, and the wind is. You can hear the VCR. The wind is. We're by the Golden Gate. It's so cold, and the wind's blowing, and it was summertime.
Yeah,
I go, all right. I hate this place.
I mean, like I said, it's been 4 years since I went, but I remember like in the morning it was actually quite nice, and then right at 1 o'clock, almost exactly, the wind would come in and just like you're like Jesus, like it. Just,
you're not prepared for it.
No, you're not. Actually, the thing you're talking about traffic in San Francisco. That's what really threw me off is that I consider myself to be a pretty safe driver. But you get used to stoplights always being hanging from the center of intersections, and on wires, and all the stoplights in San Francisco, because the city's so old, they're all on the street corners, not hanging down. So if you're not paying attention, you'll drive right through them. And it's a miracle I didn't kill somebody.
Maybe you did.
Maybe I did.
And you just didn't report it.
Just one of those potholes. It's California.
We played car bingo, just kind of like coming up with actual spaces. We didn't actually make it, but we were making a pretend California car bingo. And
what is car bingo?
Well, when you have like bingo and you're trying to fill in the spaces with things that you see out the window, and you make a. You've never played car bingo?
I've never played car bingo. No.
I mean, they played the license plate game.
Wait, what are you talking about? You've never played car bingo? Chris, have you played this game?
You're muted, Chris.
You're muted, Chris.
He's agreeing with me. So, car bingo is synonymous.
I've never heard of car bingo.
I've never heard of car bingo once in my entire 38 years of life.
Wow. There's
a man peeing. Who had that for bingo? I did.
Well, usually it's like cows or like a sign, okay. Stuff that you see out the window, and then you fill in the spaces. So we were making up a version of car bingo.
Oh.
And the free space would be the traffic jam. And then, you'd have other things like motorcycle zooming by you in the middle lane, like going 70 miles an hour.
Okay, did he have to be going a certain amount of speed because you said zooming by?
It has to be going super fast. You can also have another one that's going slow.
What do you have, like you have a radar gun?
No, but I mean, if you're on the highway,
sorry, son, you can't claim that.
It goes by you at 80.
He was only going 69, and the speed limit we put here is for bingo is 70. Did you have that kind of rule going?
No, I think you just had kind of a more messed up childhood. Nobody had.
we didn't play it. I'm just saying we didn't play. When we went cross country, of course, when I was a kid, we didn't have anything. We had to entertain ourselves with the crossword puzzles or word searches.
Well, yeah,
but, we played the alphabet game. Yeah. We had to find an A, a B, a C, and then
road signs, right?
You'd have to sit there and wait for you can get a Q.
I mean, the Oregon Trail was really long.
It was, I hated eating my family members, but got to survive, right?
Dysentery.
Chris, did you play the alphabet game?
We did not play the alphabet game, but we did play the. We tried to get my brother and I would sit in the way back when cars had the way back.
Sure.
Yeah.
That faced the rear. And we would try and get obviously the truckers to pull down their horns, right?
Oh, yeah.
And, we would try to get like-aged females to
Yeah.
Sure.
whatever.
Good little flash. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very appropriate that you said.
I'll tell you though that was like the holy grail that never worked.
Oh.
But we tried.
Well, you got to give yourself credit for trying.
Yeah. But I mean, growing up around here, there was never any drive that we would take that was a significant drive. So like everything was within an hour to 3 hours away. So we never had any.
That's the beauty of living in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, in New England for that matter.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, we'd drive to the Cape every summer and it would be, a 2.5 hour drive at the most. I mean, maybe more of just traffic, but go to Connecticut coast, we go to New Hampshire, Maine, going to Boston. It was
New Hampshire.
It is now that I'm thinking about it, it is interesting geography being in Boston because you have, you can be in the middle of the country. If you go up to Maine within an hour,
Mhm.
you can be in New York City or Providence or Hartford within just
New York City.
Yeah, but I mean it's just an interesting thing.
Yeah, there's like this whole like separate worlds within an hour and a half reach of the city, which is kind of cool.
Question, just before we get off the game subject, did you guys ever play like a word game in the car, like where you have like a theme like animals, let's say, and you say turtle, and then it ends with an E in the next person?
No.
Nope.
No.
All right. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
We weren't nerds.
Yeah. My car trips with my parents as a child was don't piss dad off. That's how it was.
Yeah.
Shut the F up and don't get dad mad.
Yeah. That's my memories.
Okay.
My road trips were from San Diego to Pennsylvania, then Pennsylvania back, and I can remember my I've told this story before. I was sitting in the back of a station wagon. I was like 6, and no air conditioning. We were all stripped down to our underwear because it was so hot. And we had a newspaper in the back, and we had the crank down window, and I was throwing the newspaper out because it was so cool with it flying. And then some guy passing by got mad at my dad. Well, I got an ass whooping, but it was funny at the time that the papers. I just liked the way the paper was flying through the air.
My neighbor actually had a very similar experience like that when she was growing up as a kid. She told me about where she would just take these tissues out of a tissue box and she was just letting them go. And then a police officer like pulled them over or something.
Well, the way
like
it
that.
was flying was so cool. You're 6. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You're 6 and it's flying. But I don't. My favorite story. I still say this day. Anytime someone mentions donuts, my middle sister was probably 4 or 5. We're coming back from Pennsylvania, and my dad was kind of a person that he was very patient. Except if he goes, all right. Anybody else want another donut? I'm good. No one don't want another donut. So he puts the donuts away, gets all set up. We start driving again, and then my middle sister, I want another donut. So he goes on for like 30 miles.
Nabbit.
He goes on for like 30 miles out. She just went on about it. And she was like the quiet kid that never got in trouble. My middle sister, she never got in trouble. And this was like, to this day, we will sit there and say, I want another donut. And everybody knows what. I want another donut. After you just got done putting them away.
Actually, I'll never forget a couple things from the family rides. I remember how family rides, there's two different eras, right? So we had the before any type of technology era. And I remember I used to watch the television show. I don't know if you guys remember it, but it was called Funhouse. It was a game show on Nickelodeon, half-hour game show with what was his the host?
Familiar.
JD something or other. JD Roth. Yes. Whoa. JD Roth was the host.
Okay, I gotta pull up images.
I remember I watched that show so religiously as a kid that I could like in my mind like recite the show, like commercial breaks and all. Like I knew the timing of it all, and I what I would do is I would actually run through the show in my head because I knew that would be 28 minutes or whatever with commercials, and I would just do that.
Oh yeah,
that's over.
Wait, so as you're traveling, you're playing the show in your head.
Yes, I'm like replaying the show in my
So what
head.
if someone were to talk to you and we're not at commercial break?
Yeah.
Why did you talk to me?
Yeah,
I got to start over again.
But
Wow.
I would be able to to pass the time 28 minutes at a time, just because I knew the cadence of that show so well. I could just kind of go through it. And then we reached the age of Game Boy, and I remember just burning through AA batteries on the Game Boy and playing Tetris on the backseat of the car. I remember
never had that. 3,000 miles, never had anything like that.
I remember one time my
Nothing.
parents almost beat my ass because so there was a TV show that was what was it? It was V, right? So I think it was V.
Oh yeah,
it was the V TV show, and in that show, there's a scene.
The original.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it would have been early mid '80s.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a scene in the show where the kids are, in a station wagon, but their parents have been taken over by the aliens.
Yeah.
And I remember the kids holding up a sign in the backseat of the car that says "Help us." And I remember how distraught they were when like a car full of nuns drive by them. They're like, "Oh, it's two kids!" Whatever. I did that once. I wrote that down on a piece of paper and I held it up, and my parents saw what it was, and they almost beat the ever living crap out of me. Because could you imagine like getting like pulled over?
By some nuns, yeah,
or just in general, if the wrong person saw that and followed us. But that was not one of my smartest.
It's kind of funny though.
Colleen has a story like that. I remember that, like one of the earliest Metro Buzz stories she told about that. So it's almost the exact same things. Like her and her sisters when I think she was like 8. So because isn't Colleen the oldest, Jack? I don't remember.
Yes.
So I think Colleen was 8, and they're
unless
driving.
she doesn't want to be the oldest, and no,
not anymore. Yeah, she's no longer the oldest. Age is not a factor. But they were going to Canada, maybe Niagara Falls or somewhere, and they were at the border, and the border, I don't know, for some reason the border agent asked Colleen as a child, like, do you know who these people are? And she went, no. To her parents, and their mom was like, that is not funny, Colleen. You know?
Well, I
That's
did that
funny.
once crossing the Mexican-United States border. I was coming back to America after we did something down in Mexico. And they go, where are you from? I go, over here. And the border guy just screamed at me. It just was going on for like 10 minutes. I go, oh, I'm sorry, America? And he goes, all right, that's all I wanted. You don't have to be such a smart ass. I go, well, I'm from here. Where else? I've got 2 choices, here or Canada. Those are 2 options.
My favorite, like, have you ever seen
Canada?
Have you ever seen the movie With Honors with Joe Pesci and Brandon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It's like one of my favorite scenes of.
Wait,
like,
Chris is going to download it.
I see it.
It's one of the perfect responses, just being a smart ass, because that's what, like, he's trying. Brandon Fraser's trying to get Joe Pesci because he's homeless. He's trying to get him government assistance because he was in the Merchant Marines and all this. And the woman's like, the woman who the agent's like, proof of birth. And he's like, I'm standing here, ain't I, lady? And
there's certain keywords you can't say.
Yeah. And,
they don't find it funny.
Yeah. She was not amused in the movie, but yeah.
They're not amused in real life.
Speaking of nostalgia, I'll just go on to one of my topics I wrote down. I don't know if Chris or Matt saw it, but
why would I see it?
This week, you said, because we talked about it before we hit record.
Okay.
It's just proof that the man is listening to the Ramblecast. It's just proof.
I've got further proof.
Wait.
Your story.
Wait, the person.
The person. Right. Yes. Okay. The person. The government.
I
whatever.
don't want to upset Matt.
Yeah. Is listen, because
if people could just see the look on my face sometimes.
That's like going,
And Chris's.
yeah, yeah. Don't upset me.
Matt, you're triggered.
I am triggered, especially when you like do that thing with the mic.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Who do you think you are, Warm Taffy? Come on.
Anyway, but Planters
officially
announced that Planters cheese balls and cheese curls are now officially back
Nick,
on July 1st.
As excited as I am, I'm kind of concerned that Jack just died.